would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. I'm Lucas or Neredly. I like to model weapons. That's about it. It's,
Yeah, I noticed that on your portfolio. Let me switch to your right. So, yeah, I might turn you up a little bit as well. Let's see if we
okay.
can. But yeah. Anyways, weapons. I noticed in your portfolio. So you're in London. Did you go to school for this, or is this just like
Uh, well, I've
self-taught?
been doing this sort of. I picked this up like the beginning of COVID lockdown because I
Oh,
needed a
really?
hobby. Um, yeah, so I've just been sort of doing this, and I just finished school, so I have a lot more time now because it's the holidays.
Dude,
Yeah.
crazy. So this is um what am I calling these? These are like it's literally COVID portfolios because like they didn't exist and then COVID locked us up and then all of a sudden you got artists kind of popping out of the woodwork.
Yeah. Exactly.
So, okay. Do we want to just like I feel like all of the volume is okay. Chat says everything's good. So, okay, so you're in London. You said you just finished school?
Uh, yeah, I finished A levels like mid June. And now I'm taking a sort of gap year, sort of
Mhm.
figure out what I want to do with my life. Yeah,
Cool. That's a fun time, man. It can be
yeah,
stressful, but it's also fun.
very stressful.
Don't let it beat you up. So okay, so you're interested in weapons. It looks like, and you said you're doing this more as a hobby. Is there
Hobby,
anything? Mhm.
potentially could be a career, but there's sort of a lot of things I'm looking at right now, so I have no idea.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, it looks like for the amount of time that you've been working on this stuff, you've progressed pretty quickly. Uh, like
thank
if we
you.
look at your oldest stuff, this is 9 months ago. Is the grenade, the German grenade,
Yeah, that's
and then
sort of
if
beginning.
we, yeah, go ahead.
I did the German grenade. That was sort of the beginning of the school year, which
Yeah,
is yeah,
and then it looks like you've got a blaster. It looks Star Wars related.
yes, it's from the episode 6, no 7, my bad.
Mm, cool. Yeah, so I looked at your portfolio just before the stream started, and I was trying to figure out like, okay, what is like the number one thing that's sticking out to me when it comes to the content itself, and I think it's like you can see it in your grenade, like right at the beginning, um, where the roughness isn't really like popping out.
Hmm.
What is it? The screw cap that protects you from like
Yeah,
accidentally triggering the grenade actually is starting to show the range that you would expect in roughness, where you can see the paint and then you can see the metal as well, and
mhm,
the difference between them. Um,
yeah,
and then as you look at the wood, it's like it kind of looks like that got forgotten that you
hmm,
can do that, like that range, because then you can use the grain to pop out the details a bit more. It just looks softer, right? Like it's not as reactive. Uh, but as you go further into your work, that seems to go away, uh, and then it's more about trying to understand what we've got DefCon in chat too. I don't know how much you chat with DefCon, but he's pretty active in making sure that everyone's getting up to scratch on weapons in the Discord at least.
awesome. I'll have to talk to him a bit.
Yeah, he's very helpful. Um, yeah, I mean this all looks like, so this is 7 months ago. This AKM. Uh, if DevCon has any comments, he says he loves weapons. If you have any comments, DevCon, you want me to iterate, just say them in chat, and I'll say what I can, and hopefully it'll come through. Um, but yeah, I think what I'm noticing now when you look at your latest stuff is the oh man, first of all, the MP40. There's a lot of storytelling going on in the materials, which is really nice to see. Like where
Yeah,
there's like chips and divots from like the metal getting hit by something or dinged or dropped, and then just really nice breakup in the roughness overall.
yeah,
Um, but the thing I was going to mention, and you see it a little bit here, is the material of the metal seems a little um, it feels off, and I don't know what it is. It's maybe like the albedo is too. bright. I don't know. Metal is pretty bright though. Is there any? Let's see if there's one thing that would be really nice to see. I think when you look at this stuff is like seeing the channels.
Oh yeah,
Um,
no, like I've seen people do this where they sort of have like the marmoset viewer slashes different
yeah,
channels. Yeah,
yeah, and I mean you don't need to have Marmoset because I think you have to buy Marmoset to have that ability, right?
yeah, yeah. And I
Um,
have that. I believe I have marmoset. I believe it comes
oh,
with the
okay,
viewer.
cool. Yeah, yeah, um, yeah. Because right now I guess it feels a bit Chrome like,
Okay.
but I think it's just the overall uh, roughness of it because all of the breakup and the little micro details you've got going on in here is super nice. Like
Yeah.
there's some nice breakup, and then I guess this wood material, uh, roughness wise, doesn't. It feels like
It's
maybe a clear
bakelite.
coat.
It's bakelite. Not wood.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay.
I believe it's bakelite on the real gun.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, it's just the material feels strange to me. Like I'm not sure what it's made out of.
Oh, okay. See what you mean.
But
Yes.
yeah, there's some nice breakup in here, man. And
Thank you.
then uh, there's a. I guess this is like the AKM dust cover is
Yeah.
more of like a test. Yeah. Do you want to talk
It was
about
a
this one at
small.
all?
Yeah, that's just a small project. It was sort of this project and the AR-15
Hmm.
were both sort of during a testing season, and this one was small because I didn't have a lot of time. Yeah, the values are going to be a bit off on this because originally it was just going to be metal, and then I added the like wear on the back of it where it chips away to the bare metal, so they both have quite high metallic values. But yeah,
Hmm. Oh man, DefCon just wrote a wall. Um, I will read it out here in a second. Yeah, it's really good that you found ways to work on your craft or like continue to just kind of build stuff while you're busy, but just like actually scaling it in order to make that happen. Because a lot of the times it's like, oh man, I'm like really busy at work or like there's school that's in the way and you don't really have time. And it can be as simple as like making like if you were sculpting, just sculpting a really simple branch or vine or something and just kind of taking that through the whole pipeline. It's yeah, it's cool to see that you're finding ways to work with so little time, but not like stressing yourself with a huge project.
yeah,
Let's see what DefCon says. So DefCon says so far from him, he already has. And when he says he, I think he's referring to you. He already has the mindset behind texturing, but all the story. By that, I mean all the storytelling and knowing how the weapon is used and localized the grunges and wear so that those all look right where they're located. So far, I would say he needs to focus on how materials/PBR works in real life to reach the to reach that gun porn texture look.
yeah.
But in the amount of time that you've been working on this, it looks really dope. And he says to just keep going.
Thank you, DEFCON. Yeah, I think that's something I definitely struggle with is sort of material values for whatever reason. I feel like
Mm.
I can never get them right. Like
Yeah,
here, I've
materials
changed.
on guns are different as well, right? Like they're not just this type of metal. It can be treated
Yeah,
a
there's
specific
some
way.
different treating or coating or
Mm.
whatever.
Yeah, I see it in the Car 15 as well. You said this one was also a short project.
Yeah, I started it sort of during the testing season, and then I sort of finished it off right after school had ended, and I think I rushed it a bit just because I wanted to be done with it.
Mm.
I think that's something I was, especially like this one and the next project, I struggled with a bit. Is that I get sort of really into the hand painting textures for like the receiver area, and then remember I have the rest of the gun, and sort of
Yeah,
give up.
yeah. I guess
Yeah,
you can fight that by like doing like a broad pass of a specific part of the like
yeah,
wear or damage that you want to do.
yeah. I think that's something I should focus on because right now I just sort of see something cool, want to put it in, and then see something else cool, and yeah, and then I
Right,
end
you
up
just
sort of
get stuck in one area.
exactly.
Yeah, the tunnel vision is real.
Yeah,
uh,
like on the
go ahead.
I was just say on the G3, for example, the magazine,
Hmm.
I had it moved down in my scene, so I didn't see it until sort of as I was planning to like start rendering properly. So
Oh, really?
yeah, the magazine textures are quite rushed on this one.
So it surprised you right at the end there.
Exactly. And I just sort of it's like, all right, well, I'm just gonna get this done quickly.
Uh,
Isn't the
was it
best mindset.
Rai B in chat was like, "How is this being lit? Is it image based plus lighting, or is it just standard lights with no IBL or image based lighting?"
So the G3 and the Car 15, the
Yeah.
AR 15, those are both just HDRIs with ray tracing. It's a bit, yeah. I mean, I think that's my biggest weak point is rendering.
Hmm.
Excuse me. So, especially with like larger assets, I found it hard to sort of get the look I want. And I just
Yeah.
for these two, I had for the Car 15, I originally had sort of hand done renders, but they felt a bit washed out. And I just ended up putting in an HDRI and adding a light background. Yeah, so I'm not really happy with the renders for the two most recent projects.
Right. I mean,
You can
the
also,
work that's on the assets themselves is quite good. The G3, I'm noticing like the grip and the what is it, the butt of the gun and the handle. That material feels a little rushed, like you were saying. Um,
yeah, I think I sort of I
like you're not
struggle
really
with
sure what it is, what type of
yeah,
material it is.
sort of struggle finding like a balance between like I think with the like the polymer here, I've struggled with sort of finding balance between not like in your face details and trying to be subtle with it, but I think I made it sort of too subtle to the point where you can't really see anything.
Hmm. Yeah, someone was saying, is it Jarsif was saying maybe the normals are flipped, but I think it's actually the lighting.
Yeah, the normals, I believe they're fine.
Yeah, the normals look. I think they're all right. Um, yeah, so I guess it's there's like two conflicting light directions, um, in the presentation that's causing that type of issue, because you want
Yeah,
to get some areas that are like more high contrast.
yeah, it's actually because the HDRI I used for this one is
Hmm.
one that I use in Substance where it lights every part of the gun at once. So,
Yeah, okay, that'll do it. Yeah, because even just leveling out
oh yeah,
the
I see that.
histogram to just try and push the darker values is giving you more pop to the shapes.
Yeah, that actually looks much nicer already.
And it's just like I might be clipping it a little bit too much in the bright area, but that helps a ton.
Well,
But yeah, I mean, what? So you're not sure if you want to get into this, but you're diving in pretty hardcore. It looks like.
yeah.
Is there anything in particular you had questions on?
Um, I mean, presentation is a big
Mm,
thing for me. Yeah,
okay.
sort of seen definitely struggle with sort of presentation and lighting. I think on personal projects, something I've struggled with in the past, but I've gotten better at is like where to mirror UVs and where not to.
Right.
I
Yeah. Yeah.
mean, on the G3, for example, there's no mirrored UVs because I just wanted to try having multiple UV sets in one substance scene, just see how it would feel, and also so
Hmm.
it would be like as a like a sort of modular asset. Like at the bottom of the presentation, you can see a render with sort of the parts can be removed.
Yeah. Down here, in the bottom right.
But on the like the ArtStation post, the very last image is sort of like the different. Yeah, see what you're doing on stream with like removing the
Yeah.
bipod. I kind of wish I had done. This does look a bit odd.
Oh
And
yeah,
then
you've
back,
got the parts here.
yeah. So just sort of messing around with different UV sets there.
Oh, that's quite interesting because I don't know. I mean, I guess it depends on the type of game that you would be building for. You, I wouldn't say you have to worry about that too much, other than be aware that if you did have a game where it was about getting parts and pieces through leveling or buying through the game or whatever, that those would have to be swappable.
Yeah.
But I imagine on these sides that you never see, they're probably not giving too much resolution to those areas.
Yeah, like the like the barrel that's hidden by the handguard is quite a low resolution, and
Mm.
yeah, know what you mean.
But yeah, so for me, when it comes to presentation, I think that like if there's anything you can do to make the background not so flat, it's good that it's a gray and not like black or white. Let's see if we can. because I think
Yeah.
if we do the levels on this, just kind of crush it down, you can see the clip is pretty dark by comparison of the metal. I
Yeah.
don't know if is it supposed
It's
to be darker.
uh yeah, I mean, so this is another issue with the HDR I was using, is it washes the colors out quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
So it's for like it is much darker, the actual value, because I wanted to like something else. I've been sort of watching the War Dog stream, for example, and Ole
Hmm.
talks a lot about like contrast between different parts, even if they're the same color in real life.
Yeah, getting a
So sort of going
difference.
for that, like yeah, like on the stock, that little metal piece that connects the stock is a bit lighter, and then the magazine's a bit darker, and then the little
Mm.
bolts and stuff are just a touch lighter. So I was trying to work on that sort of contrast, and I think I might have overdone it.
Yeah, because that'll work wonders when it comes to. Oh man, there's no way I'm gonna be able to select this. It's all different shades of gray. Uh, um, it works wonders when you're trying to make something feel really realistic, because even if it is the same metal, maybe it was created at a different manufacturer, right? So
Yeah, that's
there's like different treatments or how the surface was handled at that one place versus another place.
yeah,
I have no idea if this is because I'm not much of a gun artist, but the weld line inside of the is this a chamber in here? Uh,
that's the bolt carrier, I believe.
bolt carrier,
Um, yeah, like the weld lines on all parts of the gun, I think they're a bit over exaggerated. This is my
right?
first time like actually doing welds in ZBrush, so I got a bit
Okay,
excited and sort of got
yeah,
carried away.
I get it, I get it. It's pretty exciting
Yeah,
to
it's
be
like
able to
a bit of a
get that type of detail, right?
yeah, 'cause it's quite excited. That's sort of note like showing that I noticed sort of those small, tiny details and
Yeah, is
things.
the so I guess in the area that I'm highlighting, it feels like scale wise they're quite large. Maybe not the strength is too much of an issue, but it's like the
Yeah.
weld size is different, right? And I have no idea if that's something that's a thing. I just highlight it because it feels off to me.
Okay, I see what you mean.
But
Yeah.
maybe I mean maybe they're using different welding scales depending on like with this area getting hotter or like having to deal with the type of stuff it's dealing with.
Okay. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I'm actually looking at references and I see it's definitely the weld's definitely too big.
Mm, okay.
Yeah, it's sort of fit in the actual gun. It fits more into that little crevice.
If you're where are we at here? In your portfolio, I think if you look at your thumbnails here, like
Yep.
going back and just kind of unifying the backgrounds if it's possible
Yeah. I mean, I
would
think
be really good.
what I might do is from at least the AKM and back, sort of the AK 1911, the blaster and grenade, and
Hmm.
maybe the Glock. I might just cut those out because I feel like they're
These
a bit
three here,
old.
the last three.
Yeah, last four, last five. I'm thinking
Oh,
sort of
okay.
maybe I'll cut them out. Because I'm in the AK, for example, I'm not very happy with how the metal came out.
Hmm.
In the Glock, I might just need to go in and re-render because those are just substance viewport screenshots. Since I wasn't happy with how it looked in Marmoset, so
Right.
yeah, and I just sort of started getting into like actually rendering.
I
So
mean, I think if I would remove the last two and then the rest, it's maybe like using these as an opportunity to work on rendering. If you
okay.
still have the files, like that would be really nice.
Yeah, yeah, for the like 1911, I'd just been following some other tutorials of rendering style. And I think it came out very washed, like very bright.
Yeah, it's got a bit of a bloom to it overall
Yeah, it
as
was
well.
following the tutorial settings. That's like the sort of the bloom was very strong.
I do like in this thumbnail the kind of like is it the darkening around the edges? I forget what the name of that is
Yeah,
called
the
in
vignette.
the vignette. Yeah, the vignette
Yeah.
pass. Are you doing that vignette on top of the weapon as well, or is it in the background?
So for these two, like the AKM and the 1911, I just rendered like a blue background and then added the vignette in. Oh,
Right.
uh, blue background, added the vignette in, and then I try to remember how I did it. I think I added the gun on top, maybe.
Right. Okay. I mean, it's nice because it separates it from the background,
Yeah.
uh, and then the background's not just like that flat color or like a flat gray. I do like the blue, especially with a lot of weapons coming in pretty warm in value, or like whatever the environment is that's reflecting off of the surfaces.
Mhm.
Um, when it comes to like these thumbnails, in general. I would say be really careful with like how close you get assets to the edge of the image.
Okay.
Like, let me see if I can. Am I able to not copy?
Yeah, like the AKM asset, the back of that stalk is clipping through the scene a bit.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah.
think
It's
the
like, let's see if I can.
muzzle
Oh, go
device is
ahead.
also clipping a bit. I think yeah, both ends of that top gun are clipping through the scene a bit, or through the image.
Oh man, I'm
Yeah.
glad my noise canceling on my mic is working and Manu's going nuts. The dog is going crazy in the background. Um, yeah, that clipping or like being careful with it. Let's see if we can't scale this in. I'm just gonna like. You probably want to have like that much padding
Okay.
behind the and keep that pretty unified.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's something I definitely should do is like because so I went from the vignetting to like a solid black background because I really like the color black. It doesn't
Mm,
hurt my eyes at night. Then I got a bunch of feedback that sort of lose the shadow in the black. So I went to a more light background. Yeah, I think right now it does sort of look like just a bunch of different colors. So it might be
oh
nice to
yeah, and
go
the
ahead.
overall
Yeah, the whole
portfolio.
portfolio in general.
It's funny too because that just kind of happens naturally as you build your portfolio because like these are so separated from each other. You couldn't have known that. You know what I mean? It's like your styles
Yeah.
change as you go.
Yeah, like when I first started, I tried doing that. Like the first two assets
Mhm.
have the same background because I just had a PNG. Then
Right.
I didn't like that, and I want to do the blue, and
Yeah,
I
the blue
wanted to
one's
do
real
black.
nice.
Yeah, yeah, I do like the blue. Sort of.
Yeah, I guess the nice thing is if you can save like if you save all of your renders with that PNG in the alpha, like it's already cut out, then you can do things like you could save a thumbnail that's like pre-designed for you to
Yeah,
just add whatever render you have in there,
yeah, that might be
and then
nice.
you can
Just render
play around with all
transparent.
the framing. Go ahead.
Like I could just render the weapons with like a transparent background and have a PNG with the background, right?
Yeah,
Is that what you mean? Yeah.
yeah,
I do have
yeah.
a
Because then
question.
you
Like,
freely can move it around and find the perfect angle.
yeah, I have a sort of question. Like, is it a big deal if the render icon is a different like color from the actual portfolio renders? For example, if like the AR-15 had the blue background, but the actual asset renders had the
Oh,
white background.
I mean, it's not a make or break thing. It will make your. I mean, when someone clicks on it, it'll be like, oh, that's a different background.
Okay.
But like the initial first impression is quite important, right? And the first impression is
Yeah.
thumbnails. If those are all unified, then it's clear that you have an eye for it,
Okay.
and that, or at least that you're paying attention to that type of detail.
Yeah.
If you
'Cause I think.
can go in and change them all, then I would do it. But I mean, you might be able to get away with some sneaky like mask separation with just
I have all
whatever
the
the
renders.
render is.
Yeah, I have all the Marmoset files, so I should be able to go in pretty easily and
Yeah,
change it all.
cool. Yeah, it would be really nice to have those all unified. Um,
Yeah.
No, this is cool though. I think that's the only thing that really is kind of when it comes to the presentation of the portfolio. It
Okay.
says that you're learning. I would just change that to like what your interest is, because we're
Okay.
all you're gonna be learning forever if you choose this route.
Okay.
It never ends, man. Let's see what. So we got like 7 more minutes or 6 more minutes. Is there any other questions that you might have had?
Um, not really. I mean, for me, I guess it's just need to take much more time rendering and maybe on the more recent asset, more time with storytelling,
Right in
like on the
the
textures.
surfaces.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does feel like you focused on this main area, and then
Yeah,
the rest
exactly.
just kind of got forgotten.
Yeah,
Not like
especially
it
at
looks
the top.
forgotten. It just doesn't look like you took the same pass.
Yeah. I don't know, I like the metal, especially with like the contrast that I could put in, like
Mm,
sort of the scratches and those oily spots and stuff. Yeah. So that's definitely something you focus on, sort of looking at the whole asset rather than just the tiny spot I start in.
right. Oh, I wonder, is this little piece here? Is this in the
Mhm.
same UV set as the whole body? I think it is,
Yes, I
right?
believe so.
Because
It's
it,
just very
yeah, go ahead.
bland. I think it's just a very bland piece.
Yeah, this part, because it feels like the safety mechanism. It
Yeah,
feels
it is.
like it might be a little lower res than everything else. Like the details either aren't as tight as you would expect them based off of the other details.
Yeah, I think I just didn't spend as. I think I'll go and check my scene later, but yeah, I don't think I painted that as much. I spent much more time on the sort of cylinders on the top,
Mm.
painting those, especially
Yeah,
because they
these
have a lot.
little guys.
Yeah, they have a lot of sort of harder edges as well.
Right. You see, and I mean, it might be like if the UV is too small on that piece, the resolution of the normal could like soften it more.
Oh, okay. See. Okay.
And then maybe the text is really sharp in comparison to the rest of the body. Like the
Yeah.
this is just like the weapon number.
Yeah, with that text, I tried to sort of do this like warping effect for when you push in, the other metal comes out, but
Oh, right.
try to do that on a few guns, but I can never get the filters to work
Because
how I
there's,
want
I
them
mean,
to
even
always.
blurring the font
Okay.
will do it.
Oh, okay.
Do a pretty good job of like kind of blending it in so that it feels like it's the
Same
same
for.
bevel profiles,
Okay.
or at least trying that. I don't know if that'll work or not. It's
Yeah.
one thing I've noticed is it's always about like, okay, I've tried this, I've tried that, and as you do this stuff more and more, the list of things to try just grows, like ways to fix things or to
Yeah.
adjust stuff and update things. But cool. Yeah, I think, man, you know what's really weird is the little hook here for the this is for the strap on the back of the AKM.
Hmm.
From this view, it looks like that you caught like a screenshot of your substance painter brush. Like
I see. Yeah.
yeah, like the silhouette of like what the brush is shaped
Yeah.
like.
So-
Yeah, are you familiar with Jason Ord or Rick Greaves tutorials on ArtStation?
Yes, I've watched them both. That's most of like the hand painted stuff comes from Rick Greaves' tutorial with
Nice.
his stencils. Yeah.
Yeah, it's Polygon was just mentioning it in chat. It's
Yeah.
super good
Yeah.
stuff.
I love both their tutorials.
Yeah, those two are crazy. I mean, Jason, he's like, I wonder if he's still working on it, but at one point he was mixing liquids and certain types of like powders or flour or something together to try and get the same like consistency of blood. Is it soy sauce, Polygon? Because he wanted to like splatter it on a wall and like be able to screenshot it and make like a set
But yeah,
of blood
I've seen
splatters.
tutorials on that, like how to make your own grunge maps, like powder and stuff.
Oh yeah, see that's cool. I should look into that stuff too. Can
Yeah.
always use more of those.
So,
But do you have anything else you want to say before we jump out of here?
uh, just, I mean, thank you for the critique. Thanks for the help.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dude, this is. I mean, for a COVID fortnight, I don't know if you a COVID night. This is pretty strong.
Thank you.
But cool. Yeah, I guess I look forward to seeing some of your stuff in the critiques channel. I'm sure DEF CON will jump in there and give you a wall of feedback. He's known for
Awesome.
it. But cool. All right, dude. I guess I'll talk to you later then.
Sweet. Thank you.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
it's good to meet you in voice form.
Yeah.
All right, talk to you later.
See you.
Bye.
Bye.
Very nice. Gotta remember to lower the volume.